Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel, and welcome to this modern horror movie review as part of my current ongoing series here. Um, so the movie we're going to take a look at today is actually one that I have seen before a few years ago, but I never reviewed it on my channel, and that movie's one that I have on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy, and that is Happy Death Day from 2017. Slip cover there. There's the back. Got some special features, bonus features there. But yeah, the first Happy Death Day. I know there's a second one. I've never seen it before, but Happy Death Day from 2017. Let's go ahead and talk about this movie. Happy Death Day is a 2017 American black comedy slasher film directed by Christopher Landon and written by Scott Lobdell. It stars Jessica Rothe and Israel Broussard. The film follows college student Tree Gelbman, who is murdered on the night of her birthday but begins reliving the day repeatedly, at which point she sets out to find the killer and stop her death. Jason Blum serves as a producer through the Blumhouse Productions Company, blah, blah, blah. After a night of drunken partying, Tree Gelbman wakes up on her birthday in the dorm room of classmate Carter Davis. She dismisses him, returning to her room. Her sorority housemate, Laurie Spengler, gives her a cupcake, which she throws away. Tree meets with her married professor, Gregory Butler, with whom she is having an affair. That night, on her way to a party, Tree is lured into a tunnel and murdered by a figure wearing a mask. She immediately wakes up back in Carter's bed and is unnerved to find the previous day's events repeating themselves. Baffled, she relives the day, this time avoiding the tunnel and reaching the party. However, the masked killer follows her and murders her again. Tree again wakes up in Carter's bed, realizes she is in a time loop, and barricades herself in her room to avoid death. The killer, already hiding inside, murders her a third time. So, yeah, that's kind of the setup, the premise, the beginning of Happy Death 2017. As far as the cast goes, we have Jessica Rothe as Tree Gelman, Israel Broussard as Carter Davis, Ruby Modine as Laurie Spengler, Charles Aiken as Gregory Butler, Laura Clifton as Stephanie Butler, Jason Bale as David Gelman, Rob Mello as John Toombs, and Rachel Matthews as Danielle Bozeman. So yeah, that's to set up the premise and the cast for the 2017 black comedy slasher film Happy Death Day. Um, this is a pretty good film. I'll be honest, I'm not as in love with it as a lot of other people that I've seen review this movie, but it's not bad. I mean, it does remind me a lot of Groundhog Day. It's basically Groundhog Day meets Scream, if you want to say. But it's like Groundhog Day with a slasher element to it. So that's certainly interesting. But let's just go ahead and get into my review and talk about the things that I like about Happy Death Day. And I do have to say, it is a nice parallel to Groundhog Day, which is a movie that I really like. Probably my favorite Bill Murray movie, if I'm being honest. Um, but it has sort of a gateway horror twist on it. I say gateway horror because this is a PG-13 movie, so obviously it's not going to be brutal. It's not going to be gory or anything like that. Um, so I could see this being kind of a good gateway horror movie for people, or a good slasher gateway movie, if you want to say, without having to worry about all the on-screen violence and gore that goes along with R-rated slasher movies. Um, but yeah, I do like those elements. I do like those Groundhog Day, reliving the same day elements, and how that sort of plays into a character's life or how their personality is. And this movie very much the same as Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. It's the character starts out as not being a very good person, a very nice person, very selfish, those type of things. So it has a lot of the same parallels there. But of course, this one's about the Groundhog Day. He doesn't want to relive the same day over, and it's not about somebody trying to kill him. Eventually, he tries to kill himself. In this movie, it's about somebody ends the day trying to kill our main character and successfully does, and then the time loop begins again. So very interesting in that regard. I have to say, Jessica Rothe does a good job portraying Tree. And the arc that her character has, from being bitchy at the start to fun and sympathetic, She really plays the role convincingly and carries the movie throughout. She has to display a lot of different emotions in this movie, from, like I said, being kind of like not a care in the world, bitchy sorority girl, to being funny, to being angry and sad and scared and sympathetic. There's a nice character arc there, and I think Jessica Roth does a really good job. That's actually one thing that that I can say is more of a positive than I had the first time I watched the movie. Um, I don't know if my expectations were too high, and I was just kind of disappointed with the movie overall, given all the love that it gets. That I didn't give her just due, but she does give an outstanding performance as the main character here, no question about it. This has a nice little twist towards the end of the movie that works pretty well for the most part. I'm not going to say it's the most amazing twist ever, but I didn't see it coming. And it's not completely implausible like a lot of twists are. It does kind of make some sense given what we find out about a certain character and what they do and things like that. So I thought that was kind of a nice touch. The mask of the killer, while not being amazing or unique, does have sort of a creep factor to it. It's kind of that baby face sort of mask, and I definitely wouldn't want to see it coming at me. I thought the score throughout the movie was good here. Really enjoyable and fitting for kind of a slasher type movie with black comedy. And then I thought the movie was shot really well. Some of the scenes, especially the slasher scenes, I thought were pretty well done. So, yeah, it's definitely not without its merit for sure. Um, on the back, Eric Davis Fandango, the perfect date night horror movie. I would probably agree to that, or agree with that, I should say, because as much as being a slasher movie, it's also kind of a romantic comedy to a certain extent, if you want to say, and just a comedy in general. As far as cons go to the movie, I have to be honest. There's really just nothing that draws me back to this movie. If I wanted a day lived over kind of movie, I'll still watch Groundhog Day. I know it doesn't have slasher elements like this movie does, but I don't know. I didn't think the slasher elements were enough to like make this a standout movie to where I'm gonna want to rewatch it like every 6 months to a year or anything like that. I'll definitely rewatch it again, but it's kind of an every couple of 2 to 3 year movie rewatch for me. Um, because yeah, I mean Groundhog Day, uh, if I want that kind of movie, I mean, without the PG-13 gateway horror aspect that this movie has to it, as I said, I'll watch Groundhog Day. I'm also kind of over the college campus, frat boys and sorority setting that this movie takes place in and throughout, and has a lot of tropes too. Um, it's different when there are rated college campus slasher movies, but with a PG-13, it relies more on the comedy, more on kind of the tropiness of it. I don't know. I just maybe it caught me on the wrong day, but I'm just kind of. It's probably my age too, because I'm in my mid 40s. So the whole college scene isn't really my scene at this point in my life, pun intended. But yeah, I don't know. It's again with it being more of a comedy than a slasher, in my opinion, and being more lighthearted. Um, it just doesn't quite grab me, or it doesn't make the setting and that whole college atmosphere as memorable or as fun for me personally. Some of the side characters are pretty cliche and tropey here, especially within the college context, where you have the jocks and you have the guy that thinks he's into girls but is actually gay, and of course you have the bitchy sorority girl lead, and the it's just kind of, we've seen it all before. And then I have to say one thing doesn't get talked about. I think the real villain of this movie is Gregory Butler, Professor Butler, played by Gregory Butler, because he's basically having an affair with multiple students. And he's married as well, and it's just like this guy started it all basically. If it wasn't for him and his jumping from bed to bed, and none of this stuff would have happened. But of course, we wouldn't have a movie either then. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Overall, it's a fun movie. I mean, it's a fun movie that's it's good to put on every once in a while. But I can't say that I love it so much. Um, that it's going to be a highly rewatchable movie for me. Some people talk about this movie like it's the greatest, one of the greatest horror movies of the last 10 years. I don't quite fall into that camp. I think it's fun and entertaining for what it is, with a great lead performance by Jessica Roth, and good music, but. I don't know. It doesn't do that much. It doesn't do much more than that for me personally. So I'm going to give Happy Death Day a 7 out of 10 from 2017. 7 out of 10 from the original for the original Happy Death Day. Go ahead and comment down below if you really love this movie. Tell me why or why not. If you don't, comment down below. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would really help me out for the future content on my channel going forward. But with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying my modern horror movie review series. And of course, as always, stay scared. Bye.